you will know, folks, that there were categories of speakers, and there were a lot of them, and they were given a 10-minute slot. But there's only one of me, so I'm going to take my 10 minutes, Mr. We're going to get to you soon. We're not going to delay this much further, folks. Good morning, and thank you for being a wonderful support to us here today. I'm going to pay tribute to my honey, that's how I called him. So it didn't always sound like my honey, so it was money. So I'm here to say to him this morning, hey money, it's me. I'm standing here today because you have passed into a better space, where we know you are at eternal rest and you have eternal peace. What a journey it has been. Total of 30 years in togetherness. We were in many ways perfectly imperfect, and our time together is a lived experience akin to the tides of the ocean. We felt the ebb, we felt the flow. But looking out of the crowd today, Mani, I know that you'd really be chuffed because there's so many people here. And recently, I must just add, we spoke about funerals, and he said, you know, Charlotte, I'm from Joburg. Do you think, what would it be like? Little did we know that we'd be here today. So thank you for being here right now. We know that Mahani was an unconventional man, and together, I want to just add, without being flippant about it, that we did share a groovy kind of love. And when we decided to bring ourselves together in union to be husband and wife, he brought with him other blessings in the form of Sipho, Vuyo, Vusile, Jama, Alisa. And then in our union, I got my greatest pride and joy, my beloved Jess. And when he was born, he referred to Jesse as his Benjamin. Just going through the photo galleries, and I think we've got enough evidence that he really loved photos. He loved having his photo taken, but he was so photogenic that I couldn't stop myself sometimes from capturing Arthur. And at the moment, I'm so happy that we had the opportunity to capture even just a smidgen of who the man was. A man of many talents he was, insightful, dynamic, a trailblazer in many ways, I would imagine, devoted, caring husband, devoted father. And the thing I'm going to miss so much about you, Mani, is that presence on the couch. As I burned the midnight oil sometimes, so to Qatar representatives here, I worked late. And he sat there with me while I worked late. I'm going to miss your beautiful mind, Arth. The part that I could tap into as an insider, because we kind of do the same kind of work, so I'd often talk to him about Arth. What do you think of this? But also, you know, and I mentioned up front that we were perfectly imperfect, and sometimes I would feel irritated because he'd ask the same question over and over, you know, like 10 minutes apart, and I'd say, come on, Arth. And he'd remind me that he was so much older. But born in June, he was the quintessential, and I'm using it for symbolism only, folks, Gemini. Two distinct sides, two parts of a whole. The one side, a very kind and passionate man who loved beyond measure. And I think his children, the grandchildren, the nieces and nephews testify to that. But on the other hand, he was also kind of the independent, stubborn man who wouldn't even listen when Alina asked him on that fateful Tuesday afternoon to just be still. Because we were so focused on the numbers, on the machines that were going down. And he wouldn't, he says, no, I want to get out of this bed. And so here we are today because he was there. But to you, Mani, I say, you know what, there are so many young people in this gathering today, and it really demonstrates the legacy you leave. Young people loved you, they found you cool. They found you to be a nifty dresser. They found you to be magnanimous in so many ways. They found you to be a brilliant, a cool Uncle Arthur, somebody they could turn to. I know that you love the cultural blend of who we were together of. Young people, and I just want to say to the audience, young people in my family could call him Booty, so whether it was Zach, who's 7 years old, he was okay with that. He never corrected it. He never said, you know, you've got to call me because I'm an elder. He never did any of that. Because he was quite an unconventional man. But the beauty of that is that he showed respect himself to a person. Arthur was a teacher. He was a respecter of people, regardless of their age. And he loved the fact that people tried to do it, tried to blend in, tried to love him. But here we are today, Mani, and we're coming to lay you to rest. We know that you're a very passionate man. You're passionate about God. You were passionate about loving people. In fact, the one thing that made he cry, be hungry children. Children crying made Arthur cry. He was a man who often saw with his heart what was invisible to the eye. Of course, he was also passionate about sport. And we're not going to go through that team thing again. I have my views on it. But he also loved listening to the news and would play on and on and on in the background. And then when I look up from my desk, I see him sleeping on the couch. So I knew that he needed to listen to the next broadcast as well. He loved music. He loved church music. And he would so have loved the music that we played, guys. Since he passed, the singing, the music we've been blessed with, he would really have loved it. But he also loved jazz, hey? Great love of jazz. But I must be quite honest that for me there was some versions of the jazz that I didn't really appreciate, particularly those dooma 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 dooma. I couldn't get it, do you know what I mean? So, but as a man, he was unwavering in his support, in his love, his kindness, his show of kindness. And he loved having his house filled with people. He loved the fact that when Kali was young and they used to come here to go to Langa Church, and all the girls would come back for lunch after church. So we'd have all these giggling girls in the house all that time on the Saturday. And then as Jessie grew older, we'd have all Jessie's boisterous boys come through, and he loved them all. And they also called him Dad, Uncle Arthur. I want to say that, you know what, there's a lot of things, and Arthur retired a few years ago, and he often say to me, because there's this old big question in our house, and the kids are witness to it, what's for supper? And recently I kind of got to the point, I said, Arthur, the children are big, man. You can't ask me what's for supper. They don't live on the poverty total line. They know where the next meal is coming from, so they can get up and make it. But he cared so much even for them as adults that he'd say, Sean, what's for supper? Bearing in mind that he couldn't cook. So it was left for me. But what he could do, he could boil a mean cup of water. And it's that water that he boiled every morning to make our cuppa that we share. These would be a big glass cup like this with everything in it. Alles. A lot of matajada. Everything in there. And I would just have my normal coffee, but it's through the water that he had boiled. So So after it's only been a few days and already we feel the emptiness that death deals to those of us left behind. We spend so many beautiful moments together. And of course, Islam, we all know, also blessed us with darkness. And we have, in the past few months, and I've thought about it so much the past few days, we use those moments of darkness that Islam blessed us with. And we had the deepest conversations about life, about love, about family, about the things that caused him pain, about his childhood, his youth, the stories that go on, but also about his dreams. And so for today, for this moment, I'm going to look back on those moments and call them the treasures of darkness. Because that's what we had. And in those moments, the chats, the love shared, the words spoken and unspoken, the silence for the rough things we've been through, the silence in forgiveness. And all of this is just a glimpse of the man that I'm holding in my heart, and I remember. The real thing about this day off is the fact that you died of heart failure. And when I'm going to write that story, I'm going to say it's because you have poured out all the love you have in your heart. You poured it out for your children, the grandchildren. You poured it out to your siblings, to anybody. You poured out your heart to them. And whilst you died of heart failure, we live standing this side of eternity, and we're holding on to broken hearts. They're beating our chest. And as I come to nearly the close of this off, I'm saying, as you fly free in the evermore, Mani, I thank God for life well lived. I thank God for the many years He gave us you. We thank God that I thank God that you chose me to be here for you. I thank God that He chose you for me. So, Mani, you know, I loved you then. I love you now. And I will always love you for the things you did and the things you didn't do. So go well, my honey. Rest well. Sleep softly. We will miss you. You are missed. And from here on, I am always going to have to say that my honey is missing from me. And I have to dwell in a space where you walk no more.